All right, writing the equation of a perpendicular bisector. Are you ready? What is a perpendicular bisector again? If you have a segment, and I'm just going to do a rough sketch on this one, you don't have to draw this one out. But this is my schedule, my segment, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, somewhere here, and 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, somewhere here. And I draw a line between this. This is my segment PQ. The idea behind this is I want to find a midpoint, and then I want to draw a line through that midpoint that's perpendicular. So this line here has its own equation. This line here in red also has its own equation. The equation I want to focus on is the perpendicular bisector, which we will see again when we find the circumcenter of a circle, of a triangle. All right, so let's get this down. So that's the rough idea behind what I'm doing. All right, first off, to write an equation, I need two things. I need a point and a slope. Okay, so to write an equation, a linear equation, I need a point and a slope. If I'm looking for the perpendicular bisector, then I need the midpoint of line PQ. So what is the midpoint of PQ? Let's start there. What's the midpoint of PQ? How do you find the midpoint? Yep. I'm going to take my x values, add them, and divide by 2. I'm going to take my y values, add them, and divide by 2. So go ahead and get your midpoint. What's your midpoint? So I'm going to figure out my x's. Here's my x1. Here's my y1. Here's my x sub 2. Here's my y sub 2. So I'm going to add my x's. So negative 2 plus 4 divided by 2. And 3 plus 1 divided by 2. Negative 4 plus 2 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So my midpoint of PQ is 1, 2. And I'll just call this point M. So I said I'm writing an equation, right? I need a point and a slope. Great. I got the point I need. What's the slope of PQ? And how do you find slope? How do you find slope again? M equals what? Yep. Okay, rise over run, which is the rise is the difference of your y values. So y sub 2 minus y sub 1. And the run is the difference of your x values, which is x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So when I find the slope of PQ, again, I'm going to substitute in. I got 1 minus 3 and 4 minus negative 2. Watch out for the minus and the negative 2. Okay? 1 minus 3 is negative 2. 4 minus negative 2 is the same thing as saying 4 plus 2, which is 6. And negative 2 over 6 simplified is, so negative 1/3 is your slope. But when I write the equation of a perpendicular bisector, then I don't want the slope of PQ. I want the perpendicular slope. And once I find the slope of PQ, the perpendicular slope is going to be very easy to find. What's the perpendicular slope of any line? Good. So it's the opposite, meaning if it's positive, it's negative. And it's the opposite reciprocal, or we could say it's a negative reciprocal. So this is a negative 1/3, so now it becomes positive. And if you take the reciprocal of 1/3, the reciprocal of 1/3 is 3 over 1, or I'm just going to say 3. So my slope is positive 3. So to write my equation, I need the slope of 3 and the point 1, 2. Now to write an equation. I'm going to use point slope to write this equation. So point slope, and again, there's different ways you can use this, but I'm going to use point slope form. And point slope form was y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x sub 1. And then I'm going to substitute in some values here. So my slope of positive 3 goes in for m. My x value of 1 goes in for x sub 1. And my y value of 2 goes in for y sub 1. And when I substitute in, it's going to look like y minus 2 equals 3 times the quantity of x minus 1. Technically, this is the equation. I'm going to take it one step further and just put it into slope-intercept form, which means I'm going to distribute the 3 and bring over the negative 2. So if I distribute the 3 here, I get y minus 2 equals 3 times x, which is 3x, 3 times negative 1, which is negative 3, and then add 2 to both sides. And this gives me y equals 3x minus 1. That is the equation of the perpendicular bisector.